Welcome to this month's edition of Spotlight on Edmonds Real Estate TV show. I'm Wayne Purser, local realtor with Coldwell Banker Bain Real Estate, just footsteps from the fountain in downtown Edmonds. This month, my special guest is Jan Anderson with Rainier Title and Escrow. We'll also have a segment of our real estate weather report, a question from a viewer, and then at the end of the show, you'll have an offer to get a quarterly market from Coldwell Banker Bain explaining how the market is going with listings, sale price, and days on market. So you can email me for that information. Right now, I'd like to introduce Jan Anderson of Rainier Title and Escrow. Hi there.
Hi, Wayne.
Great. We've known each other since my first year in real estate.
We have indeed.
15 years ago. So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit of you being a title rep. How did you get in the business?
Well, I came to the business by way of a seller and buyer. My husband and I had our own business, buying and selling real estate, fixer-uppers, we call them, investment real estate. And in that process, I learned a lot about what can affect title and what can affect properties, and that was kind of my end of the business, is to keep track of all that and get us through closing. So that morphed into me becoming a title representative.
Okay. So for our viewers, what is title insurance?
Well, I'm glad you asked because it is a little bit of an obscure topic for some people. Title insurance is an insurance policy that insures an owner's real property rights, and it's a policy that is obtained at closing when a property changes hands, and the seller buys a policy for the new owner, and the owner who has gone out and gotten a loan buys a policy for their lender.
Okay, great. And so how does title insurance do that? You know, I hear, and people know chain of title, they hear that. So tell me a little bit about how does title insurance do that?
Well, it's a two-part process, really. We are required to maintain vast databases of everything that affects real property. And so what we do is when a property is going to change hands, we convert that address to a legal description, because the backbone of our system is legal descriptions. And then we actually search all things that might affect property rights in that legal description. We then disclose them to the parties in the transaction. So we're actually the source of telling the buyer what is going to affect their property once they take ownership. And those databases are where we get that information and then disclose. And then, of course, we do convert it later to when the deed is recorded, it's converted to a policy.
Right. And with that, buyers, when they buy a home and title insurance, need to read the title insurance to see what is in there.
They do.
And
they absolutely do, because the sorts of things that we find and disclose are a vast array of agreements that are going to travel with the property. So, for instance, might be utility easements. Each owner really wants to have utilities, usually, to their property.
Correct.
They want to have electricity and gas and water and sewer, and those are usually created by agreements through the utility company. So that's one of the things we disclose.
Yeah, so it could be a utility, there could be a driveway easement, a view easement that can be very complicated.
Yes, yes.
And so,
View rights is one of the things that we disclose. And then also CC&Rs, commonly known as conditions, covenants, and restrictions. And those are very important for a buyer to know about. May not affect them in any way, but maybe there's a condition that no motorhome could be parked in front of the house.
Right.
So those are the things that the buyers want to know. And again, this process is an involved process to search and disclose to them.
Well, you lead right into my last question is why is this so complex?
Well, it's complex because we search all public records and private records also. We're, first of all, ensuring that ownership. We are verifying and ensuring ownership through all the deeds, through all the years. We are also verifying the legal description. And then we are searching, again, these databases for any of these agreements that would affect the property. So it's not what you'd call a simple Google search.
That's correct.
We have to search, and then we have trained people that have to read these documents and decide, do these stay? Do they still affect the property owner's rights?
Right.
And then once the deed is recorded again, that's when we convert this research into an insurance policy. And that is really so important because we, from that point forward, ensure that buyer's property rights. We're ensuring their rights in that property.
Right. And the property rights can affect their sale price, their marketability of their property.
That too, yeah, absolutely.
Super. So, Jan, how can our viewers reach you?
I can be reached at jana@rainiertitle.com, and my phone number is 206-233-0300.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Jan.
Thanks for
Great.
having me.
Okay, you bet. That wraps up this portion of my special guest with Jan Anderson at Rainier Title. And now we'll move on to Spotlight on Edmonds Real Estate Weather Report. Welcome back to this edition of Spotlight on Edmonds Real Estate Weather Report. For Edmonds, zip code 98020, we currently have 35 listings. That is up 30% from the month of May. List sales are 38, which are up 10%, which gives us a temperature of 100 degrees plus. Things are selling within days, as long as it's priced correctly. Edmonds, 026 zip code. Currently is 70 listings, which is flat from the month of May, but sales are up just a little bit to 67, which gives us a temperature of 98 degrees, or market time of around 6 days. As we move into South Snohomish County, which would be Muckleteal, Briar, Linwood, Mountain Lake Terrace, and Mill Creek. The biggest change here, 35% more listings to 274. Sales are 218, up just a little bit of 4%. Market time is 56 days, but the temperature is 80 degrees. Shoreline, up 10% to 57 listings, 86 sales, which is up 20%. They're scorching, 100 plus degrees, and again, selling within days. As we come to a close of the spring selling season, as we move into the summertime with June, July, and August, schools coming out, weddings, graduations, buyers are still out there. Buyers still want to buy homes, so it's a seller's market because there's not a lot of supply. So we see the same numbers going through the summertime. So we'll check out what the real estate weather report is for the month of July next time. Come see me, Wayne Purser, Spotlight on Edmonds Real Estate TV show. We look forward to seeing you next time. And now we're going to take a question from a person on the street.
Wayne, what do I do? My parents want to downsize. How do I make that happen in this market?
That's a great question. I get asked several times each month, this being a seller's market, when is it time to downsize and how do I downsize? So as I explain to my clients, a smaller home means less space, means less time, stress, and money spent on upkeep. Some people will sell and buy another property with a lower mortgage payment, and let's assume if they saved $500 a month on a mortgage payment, over 30 years, they could add an additional $1 million in the bank for their nest egg. Or they can use the proceeds from selling their current home to pay cash for a smaller one. Then, just imagine what you could do with no mortgage holding you down. As some people will look at buying a smaller home in their current location, as well as a vacation or investment property where they plan to retire later in life. This allows them to lock in today's home prices and mortgage rates or interest rates at today's value, which are historically low. This makes sense financially at both home prices and interest rates are projected to rise. Last question I have is, have I built enough equity in my current home to make a profit? There's a current study that says 72%, greater than 72% of homes in the United States have 20% of equity or more. That could enable you to build the life you've always dreamed about. Bottom line, if you're debating downsizing your home and want to evaluate your options you currently have, meet with a real estate professional who can help guide you through the process. That wraps up this edition of Spotlight on Edmonds Real Estate TV show. Again, I'm Wayne Purser. We hope to see you next month. Hi, I'm Wayne Purser, a local realtor at Coldwell Banker Bain Real Estate Services, downtown Edmonds, just footsteps from the fountain. What I have here is a new offer for you as a viewer to receive a copy of the Pacific Northwest First Quarter Market Report for 2016. This will include the Puget Sound, Southwest Washington, and the Oregon, Portland area. At Coldwell Banker Bain Seal, we have over 1,000 brokers and 31 offices in Washington and Oregon. This market report will include cities and counties, average sales price, number of closings, average days on the market, and current inventory. If you'd like your own copy, email me at waynepurser@cbba.com or call me at 206-235-2693.